From the first clash of curses to the thrilling crescendo of sorcerer battles, we're exploring every dark corner and every moment of camaraderie in this groundbreaking series. So buckle up as we unravel the mysteries of cursed energy, meet the characters who've stolen our hearts, and discover what makes Jujutsu Kaisen a true masterpiece of modern anime. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss this epic journey through a world where the line between good and evil is as blurred as it is dangerous. Yuji Itatori is a normal high school student with incredible athleticism, but his grandpa is pretty based and is on the hospital bed. So Yuji calls his grandpa to check on him, but instead of, "Oh, my child, here is $20, don't tell your mother about it," he goes mental and tells Yuji to attend his club instead of visiting him. On the other side, we see that there is a student named Megumi Fushiguro, who is in desperate search for a cursed object but is unable to locate it and is trying hard. Fushiguro calls another man, only to be told he can't return home until the object is recovered. The next day at the Occult's Club, Yuji, teaming up with two more icons, Iguchi and Sasaki, they are messing up with the Ouija board to summon a spirit, only to ask it about an animal name that can defeat the student council president. As they were doing this weird spirit summoning, Occult's council president, Plankton, comes in heavy and slams the news that their club is now done, and the room for their club will be now used as a changing room for the women's athletics team. However, to prove their research, they tell the president about their theory that something supernatural, like a ghost, might be on the students' rugby field. Hearing this, Plankton basically tells them to go away and tells Yuji to prepare for the track and field team where he's supposed to be instead of doing these strange club things. The coach of the field team interrupts like Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad and demands Yuji help them conquer nationals. In order to settle it, both of them agreed to a competition on the field. As all this is happening, Fushiguro from there earlier is disguising himself and searching the area for the cursed object that his boss is looking for. While searching around, he sneakily observes Yuji completely destroying noobs in a shot-putting contest, breaking records left and right like it's nothing. This dominating performance also cements his place in the Occult Club. Seeing how giga-chad of an athlete Yuji is, as Yuji walks past him, Fushiguro notices the cursed energy emanating from his body, indicating some kind of connection to the cursed object. However, before he can ask Yuji any questions, Yuji rushes off to the hospital to visit his grandpa. There, the old man isn't happy that Yuji wasted his time visiting him. So he tries to tell Yuji that he should work hard and use his gifts to save others so that when he dies, he is surrounded by a dozen of hot babes. Shortly after saying that, the naughty old man passes away. Yuji, with his grandpa passing, gets hit by Truck-kun, and as he is in mourning process, the desperate Fushiguro pops up, desperately seeking a conversation with Yuji, who is attempting to navigate through his sorrow. Fushiguro demands Yuji to give him the cursed object, which Yuji found before in his occult team. However, Yuji is confused about it all. Fushiguro explains that cursed items possess negative energy created by humans, and the one with Yuji is dangerous. Hearing this, Yuji, without further questioning, hands over the box containing the cursed object, but there was nothing in it. The real cursed object is with another cult club member's box, and they'll open it in front of the school later that night. Hearing this, Fushiguro starts sweating, and he tells Yuji that his friends are done if this happens. At the same time, in the school, Sasaki and Iguchi open the seal of the cursed object, and to their surprise, they discover a devil's middle finger within it. Suddenly, the room takes on a dark presence, leaving all students clenching in fear. Fushiguro and Yuji also arrive at the school and immediately feel something is fishy there. The cursed monsters are all loose and casually strolling the school halls, while Sasaki is hiding for her life. To her relief, Iguchi appears like an angel, but her relief turns into shock when she notices he was giving head to a small cursed monster. I mean, literally his head was taken by the small monstie. Suddenly, a large monster appears behind Sasaki and hits her with a wise dinner light slap. Fushiguro appears entering the building, releasing his two divine dogs to fight off the monsters. Yuji is standing outside, feeling afraid and somewhat overwhelmed. He recalls the words of his Oppa and is suddenly filled with a motivational surge. Inside, Fushiguro is busy rallying the cursed monsters along with his dog. When he turns a corner, he finds a big cursed monster that seems like it's merged with others, consuming Sasaki and Iguchi's bodies. The monster is a literal creep. Look at how it's jiggling with Sasaki's melons before devouring her. Meanwhile, outside, Yuji is getting all motivational and suddenly jumps like a Giga Chad, remembering his old man's words, and spin punches the crap out of the big ugly cursed monster. Yuji then rescues Sasaki and Iguchi from the monster's creepy grasp. Seeing the cursed monster disrupted, Fushiguro blasts it and brings it down, which then gets eaten by his dogs. Yuji asks him about the dogs, and Fushiguro explains that they're his Shikigami, and Yuji is able to see them thanks to his experience tonight. Yuji then stands up with Sasaki in his arms and notices a finger dropping out of her pocket. Fushiguro explains to him that it's the special grade cursed object, Ryomen Sukuna's finger, and it's good that the cursed monster didn't eat it. Hearing this, Yuji wonders what would have happened if he had decided to eat it, and as he's wondering, a big cursed monster comes crashing down from the floor above and captures Fushiguro. Fushiguro tries to summon another dog to combat with this ugly curse, but however, the cursed monster throws him through the wall like a rag doll. The monster follows up to end Fushiguro, but Yuji arrives and distracts the monster. Seeing this, Fushiguro yells at the top of his voice that Yuji should back off and he isn't strong enough. But Yuji doesn't give in because his old paw said not to leave his friend to die. As Yuji dodges multiple cursed monster attacks thanks to his athleticism, he nearly drops the finger into the monster's mouth. Still, he manages to catch it with his own mouth and eat it whole, gaining cursed Ryomen Sukuna's power. After that, Yuji, just with a single blow, blasts the cursed monster into pieces. As the dust settles, Yuji's face is filled with tattoos and multiple eyes as he's possessed by something. He acts like a maniac and is excited that the city is filled with women and children. Weird, my G. Seeing this, Fushiguro is concerned that Ryomen Sukuna has been reborn in Yuji now and will again shit on humanity. Fushiguro then tries to exorcise the Sukuna curse out of Yuji's body. Yuji raises his arms, signaling that he's all good and in control of his body. Hearing this, Fushiguro starts sweating as he can't tell if it's Yuji speaking or if it's Sukuna's tongue. Just as Fushiguro is about to crack under pressure, a blindfolded white-haired boy arrives. Seeing him, Fushiguro refers to him as Satoru Gojo. Gojo, upon arrival, starts mocking Fushiguro since he wasn't able to handle the cursed object problem. Yuji reveals to Gojo that he has the cursed finger, to which Gojo examines him closely and realizes that he's indeed combined with Sukuna. Gojo then decides to test it and asks Yuji to give control over to Sukuna for 10 seconds so they can fight. Yuji does exactly that, and as Sukuna takes over his body, he instantly charges at Gojo. However, Gojo is way above Sukuna's level, easily evading all of the cursed strikes with incredible agility. To showcase for his student Fushiguro, Gojo hits Sukuna with some flashy attacks, sending him to the ground. Getting hit like that, Sukuna gets angry and charges at Gojo. But his transformation time runs out and Yuji regains control over his body. Seeing how easily Yuji can take control of his body, Gojo is impressed. Gojo then walks up to Yuji and fingers his head, rendering him unconscious. Observing this, Fushiguro appears confused, but Gojo explains that if Yuji regains consciousness under his own control, he might prove useful to them. Gojo proceeds to ask Fushiguro about his intentions regarding Yuji, to which Fushiguro responds that he wants him to live. Upon hearing this, Gojo takes Yuji to a room where he ties him like he's going to bondage with him. There, Gojo explains that the Jujutsu elders they are working for have decided to have Yuji, but Gojo managed to block them and temporarily suspend the decision. He then explains to Yuji that the finger he consumed is one of 6, as Sukuna, to whom they belong, has 4 arms. Imagine a 5-some with those hands. Anyways, Gojo then demonstrates that they can't destroy the fingers and tells Yuji that he has the potential as a vessel for Sukuna. Therefore, he can be used to consume the curse if he eats all 20 of Sukuna's fingers. Gojo then presents Yuji with 2 options. One, he dies, and the other, he dies but after getting fingered by 20 devil fingers at a time. And we know what he chose. Later that day, Yuji visits his friends Sasaki and Iguchi in the hospital. Sasaki seems alright, but Iguchi is lying on the hospital bed as if he just lost 10 ranked games in League. Sasaki blames everything on herself, but Yuji tells her about the cursed finger incident, clarifying that it was all his fault. He apologizes and leaves, assuring Sasaki that a sorcerer will come by to heal Iguchi tomorrow. Outside, Yuji meets with Gojo to decide which path he must choose. Gojo explains to him the brutality of the curses, detailing how they kill. They both then visit Yuji's old pa's ashes, and there Yuji decides to choose the fingering path. Gojo gives him another finger, which Yuji swallows whole. And instantly Sukuna's influence starts to overcome his body. He struggles a lot, but manages to gain control over his body. Seeing this, Gojo sees they've got a rare hotshot who can control Sukuna's influence so easily. After that, Fushiguro arrives and tells Yuji that he's going to Tokyo Metropolitan Jujutsu School. Gojo reveals that Yuji will be one of only 3 first years there. Hearing this, Yuji is shocked. He then says goodbye to his old pa's grave and heads to the school. While traveling to the school, Gojo reveals to Yuji that the school is quite elite for Jujutsu sorcerers. Upon reaching the destination, Gojo discloses that Yuji will be having an interview with the principal. Upon hearing this, a mouth pops up from Yuji's hands and starts expressing a desire to kill Gojo. However, Gojo hearing Sukuna and reveals to Yuji that Sukuna is a Giga Chad and is the king of the curses. They arrive at the principal's office, but to Yuji's surprise, the principal is a furry. Yuji then introduces himself to the principal, whose name is Yaga, and states that he wants to learn Jujutsu as a dying wish from someone else to save people. Hearing this, furry Yaga claims that Yuji's reasons for learning Jujutsu is crap. Using his furry fetish power, Yaga deploys one of his dolls to attack Yuji. This furry curse is a bit gotchy, and after hitting Yuji, it flexes on him. Yaga tells Yuji that he'll continue to attack him until he gets an acceptable answer from him. Yuji charges towards the furry curse and hits him with a jab, sending the curse striking around the walls like a pinball. Suddenly, the furry goes nani and hits Yuji with a strong charge, sending him flying. The furry then flexes its asshole to trash talk Yuji, which agitates him. Meanwhile, Yuji is getting his ass kicked, and Yaga is yapping about how being a sorcerer is an unpleasant job, emphasizing that one must be motivated and a little loco to do the job. Yaga then gets into a rage tone and asks Yuji if he'll blame his death by a curse on his grandpa as well. Hearing this, Yuji realizes that the furry lover is spitting facts. Suddenly, out of the air, a mighty uppercut hits Yuji's face, sending him into a forced backflip from the sheer pressure. The furry then jumps up to follow up with the ending blow, but Yuji, realizing his reason to learn Jujutsu, grabs the furry by its neck in a chokehold. He realizes that he's the only one who can suppress Sukuna's influence and doesn't want it in the future, that one day he's jerking in the bathroom and hears that someone has died because of Sukuna. Hearing this, Yaga smiles and accepts Yuji into his school and asks Gojo to show him around. At the dorm room, Yuji is excited to see a nice, spacious room. There, Gojo tells him that the fingers are pretty rare to find, and Sukuna's power within Yuji will help them like a radar to locate those. Yuji also meets Fushiguro there, and together, the next day, they go to pick up the third first-year student, Nobara Kukizaki. Finally, a girl in this anime, thank God. At the station, the trio is prepared to meet the final student for their group. They spot a girl bullying others at the station and realize that's the girl they're waiting for. Nobara introduces herself and, looking at the goofy faces of Yuji and Fushiguro, realizes that they both look like they definitely try to do things with themselves. Nobara is not impressed with her teammates, but Gojo changes her mood by revealing that they are going to Tokyo. Yuji and Nobara get excited, expecting an extravagant tour of Tokyo, but Gojo says cap and brings them to an abandoned building. This building is close to a cemetery where a curse has taken over. Fushiguro tells Nobara about Yuji and his finger, and she gets grossed out by it. Gojo then intervenes, saying he wants to test the 3 out to see what they are capable of. He orders Nobara and then Yuji to exorcise the curse inside the building. Gojo then gives a shiny machete called Slaughter Demon to Yuji. This machete is imbued with cursed energy, so it'll work on curses. Gojo also tells Yuji not to let Sukuna out, as it could be dangerous for people around him. Hearing that, Nobara and Yuji head inside the building and start looking around like detectives in some kind of I am stuck step bro video on a strange site. Outside, Fushiguro asks Gojo if he can join, to which Gojo reveals that he can't, as it is a field test just for Nobara. Inside, Nobara is talking about how she hates curses, to which Yuji replies that they're still dangerous and they should work together to exorcise them. Hearing this, Nobara kicks the creep out of Yuji and tells him this is the reason he's a virgin. Yuji comes up with the biggest comeback of the century, saying how does she know he's a virgin? Boy, even my deaf plus blind grandpa knew you were a virgin. What are you talking about? Anyways, as Yuji tries to respond to Nobara's trash talk, a fat scorpion curse jumps on him. Yuji manages to evade the attack and then follows up by slashing the curse all over using a slaughter demon machete. Outside, Gojo already knows how crazy Yuji is. However, he made them take this field test to confirm how crazy Nobara is. Inside, Nobara reaches a room that looks like a crazy mannequin sex dungeon. There, she calls out one of the mannequins and, using her hammer and nails, she pierces the mannequin's face, forcing the curse to reveal itself. Gojo thinks Nobara may be a pro with countryside curses, but the city-side curses are far stronger. The mannequin curse stands up like me on a Monday morning. However, Nobara activates her nail curse, which blows the mannequin's head into pieces. After that, she discovers a small child hiding behind boxes, but he refuses to come out. Scared of Nobara's Karen haircut, suddenly a curse comes through the wall and takes the kid hostage. Seeing this, Nobara is shocked that the curse in front of her has a positive IQ. Nobara is mad that the curse is pretty, but it has intelligence that's the problem. If she dies, the hostage boy dies too. Nobara then surrenders, dropping her weapons, but to her shock, the ugly curse is still not letting go of the boy. Suddenly, Yuji makes a glory hole through the rear wall and cuts off the arm of the curse. The curse then jumps and goes through the building wall to flee, but Nobara uses the straw doll technique on the curse's severed arm, resulting in its exorcism. Why is this girl so local, you ask? In the past, Nobara has had a friend named Sari, but she was outcast by the people of her village simply because she came from Tokyo. Pretty based. So to spite those people, Nobara joined Jujutsu so she could come to Tokyo. Now back in the present, Nobara is screaming at Yuji for creating that hole. Embarrassed, Yuji changes the topic and asks her about her reason to join Jujutsu Tech. She reveals that the village was hell for her and she escaped to meet Sari in Tokyo. She then thanks Yuji for saving her and laughs like a fever dream nightmare witch. Outside, Gojo arrives and offers them some sushi dinner as a reward. They're all excited for the sushi, but Fushiguro has his face down, looking like his donation got ignored by an e-girl. Gojo reveals that he's pouting because he didn't get to empty his water gun today. After a month of a really strange cursed womb shows up over a facility and 3 Jujutsu students are called to exorcise it. Unfortunately, one of the 3 first-year students died in that event. A day before that, the assistant manager of Tokyo Jujutsu High, Kiyotaka, brings Fushiguro, Yuji, and Nobara to a building where the Windows has spotted a cursed womb. It's not your typical computer window that spotted it. Windows is an in-house term at Jujutsu High that refers to unique members who can see curses. The assistant manager briefs them that the building is a detention center and 5 detainees are still inside along with the cursed womb. He adds that the cursed womb can transform into a special grade which could be pretty bad. Our idiot Yuji didn't understand what he meant by special grade, so the assistant manager explained it for him on a goo goo gaga level. He reveals that the special grade cursed monsters require pretty strong firepower to fight against it. Hearing this, Fushiguro realizes that if something like that happens, only Gojo would have been able to handle it. The assistant manager then informs them that they shouldn't fight, no matter what, and if they encounter a special grade, they should run, or else they'll just GG. He adds that the only mission for them is the rescue of the survivors. A distraught mother of one of the detainees arrives crying, pleading for them to save her son. Hearing her plea, Yuji states to both of his fellows that they must save everyone, to which they both agree. Now, as the students venture inside the building, Kiyotaka casts a cover over the building that isolates them from the outside world. Fushiguro also summons his demon dog to look out for curses. As soon as they head into the building, the door behind them disappears. Seeing it, both Nobara and Yuji start sweating. However, Sigma Pro Max Fushiguro assures them that this dog remembers the scent of the entrance, so they can go back when they want. Hearing this, Yuji and Nobara get relieved. They then start moving again and reach a pool with messed up human remains in it. Yuji goes close to investigate but gets shocked seeing that it was the son of the woman pleading for help outside. Yuji suggests that they should bring the body back to his mother, but Fushiguro refuses, saying they should look for others. Fushiguro reveals that before this mission, he assessed information about this guy, and this guy killed a little girl while driving without a license. Nobara tries to intervene between the 2 idiots arguing, but suddenly, something sucks her into the ground. Seeing this, Fushiguro is confused as to why his dog didn't sense the threat, but he gets shocked to his core when he realizes the dog has already been killed and its head is stuck to the wall as decoration. Suddenly, as they're about to run, the special grade curse reappears, freezing both in place. Yuji, recalling his old pa's words, gets a bit of adrenaline and attacks the special grade curse. However, before he could even touch it, the special grade demon counters, resulting in Yuji's hand being cut. On the floor below, Nobara is caught between large mass curses that look like your mom when you refuse to pause your game. Back on the floor above, Yuji and Fushiguro are getting mangled by the special grade curse. If getting ducked in the back wasn't enough, the special grade was even taunting them after delivering a massive blow. However, Yuji realizes they can't all escape this, so he tells Fushiguro to fight Nobara and escape the building and give him some kind of signal. But what will he do, you ask? He will do exactly what Gojo said not to do. He will switch bodies with Sukuna. Fushiguro eventually agrees and goes adios. He summons his black dog and orders it to find Nobara. Meanwhile, Nobara has her last nail left, but still more of your mom remaining. Back to the main fight, it's getting pretty hot as the special grade strips down its clothes to fight in just its underwear. Suddenly, with power, the special grade hits Yuji with dark curse energy, sending him flying through the wall. Yuji gets up and tries to hold off his special grade until he gets a signal from Fushiguro. The special grade unleashes another powerful blast at Yuji, which he blocks, but starts getting disintegrated by the sheer power. Elsewhere within the building, Fushiguro manages to save Nobara from an ugly curse's mouth. At the same time, Yuji realizes that he's not strong and way too weak, but he doesn't want to die. As he's having a mental breakdown, the special grade is waiting for him to wrap up his whining so he can beat him up. Yuji soon realizes that if he's going to die, he should die fighting. He then loads up all his rage onto his fist. He loads up his punch and starts charging towards the special grade. However, it still gets blocked by it. Suddenly, Yuji gets the signal from Fushiguro that they've saved Nobara. Hearing this, Yuji transforms into Sukuna. Seeing this, the special grade shits itself. Sukuna, coming into Yuji's body, starts wondering how Yuji is able to easily switch between him and himself. As he's wondering, he's ignoring the special grade. He then orders the special grade, as you order a dog, to come with him. But it refuses and instead attacks Sukuna. However, Sukuna easily blocks that attack but accidentally heals Yuji's hand. Sukuna then, with one palm hit, drops the special curse down and then steps on its head. The special curse tries to retaliate, but it's too weak, and Sukuna dominates it, defeating it. Outside, the assistant manager takes Nobara to the hospital, and as Fushiguro is going, he asks him to send a sorcerer to help them if one is around. Inside, Sukuna is doing some new kind of strange thing that the poor special grade curse. The special grade manages to regrow its body again, but Sukuna uses a strong Jujutsu technique and activates his domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine. This technique is so powerful that it instantly slices the special grade like a cucumber. Sukuna then takes the finger from one of the special grade slice's body, and it disintegrates. After that, Sukuna yells at Yuji to take back control. However, nothing happens, from which Sukuna realizes something and passes a predatory evil grin. And that wraps up our journey through the intense action-packed universe of this video. From Yuji Itadori's leap into the unknown to the epic showdowns that left us on the edge of our seats, this season has been nothing short of a roller coaster. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more anime recaps and deep dives. Got a favorite moment from Jujutsu Kaisen or another anime you're dying to discuss? Drop us a comment below. We love hearing from you. Until next time, keep the curses at bay and the good vibes coming. See you in the next video where the adventure continues.